Hi friends, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. We are wrapping up our 3-night stay at the BoardWalk Villas in a standard view studio, and I thought I would take you on a quick room tour before we fully check out, so be sure to stay tuned. We were assigned room 1044, so that's on the first floor and it faces the pool. So here's your front door, very standard. This is sort of the section of the boardwalk that we are in and the evacuation plan. And then as you're turning around from entering the front door, you have this cute mirror. There's no real shelf or hanging space or anything, but there's plenty of floor space in this entryway. You can see we've got our luggage lined up here. This wall opposite of me is where your light switch is for your overhead light in this sort of entry area. And then moving further into the room, directly on your left will be the kitchenette. So you have a sink, you get your little dish soap, dish towel, small sponge, which we've used a bit. Pretty standard Mr. Coffee machine, microwave, toaster, and ice bucket are all visible. And then underneath the sink actually is where you're gonna have your paper towel roll. So if you were looking for that, it's under the sink. And as per usual, you do have trash and recycling. Fun little crystal-y doorknobs and some paneling on these doors. And then you have your oversized mini fridge. So it's bigger than like a college dorm fridge, but it's definitely not a full fridge. Tiny little freezer space that, you know, will keep things cold, but I don't think I would count on like ice cream staying hard in there. But quite a lot of shelving space for various drinks, leftovers, etc. And then in your upper cabinets, this is where you will have your studio level dishes, so you don't get actual dishware and utensils when you stay in a studio, but you do get disposables, which is great. So it comes with disposable, these are, I think, styrofoam cups for coffee and lids, plastic cups, and then you get bowls and plates. They're all wrapped and sealed and definitely clean. And then on this other side, these cabinets, this is where your extra paper towels are, and then this will be cutlery and a couple of tools such as a can opener. I've just pulled the cutlery thing down and onto the counter, and you can see this is also where your coffee supplies are going to be. There is some coffee by the coffee maker, but creamer, sugars, and stuff are up here with your utensils and your can opener. Corkscrew, very important in case you grab a bottle of wine. All right, so turning around from the kitchenette, here's your bathroom. You get this super fun mirror. I'm actually really into it. I don't know if it screams boardwalk to me, but it definitely is like fun and kitschy, so that feels boardwalk-ish. Then you have one sink, a pretty good amount of counter space. And then it did come with body lotion and dish soap. I've stashed the body lotion away. You have a makeup mirror, and again, it's lighted. And one side is 5x mag, and the other side is normal magnification. So you've got those options, and it moves around pretty well, so that's nice. In one of these drawers is where our hair dryer was. So sometimes that's under the sink, sometimes it's in a drawer. You'll just have to look around. These are just functional storage spaces. Nothing special under the sink, but again, a really large storage space if you want to store anything down here. And then same on the other side, you do have this functional top drawer and this storage space where there's extra toilet paper and extra tissues. It's a really functional sink setup. It worked well for us anyway. To the left, you'll have this door. This pocket door leads into your closet. So here you will have your extra pillows and blankets if you have more guests than are going to be sleeping on the bed. And then quite a lot of hangers, way more than we've had in the past. So plenty of hangers. And way back in the closet, you have your iron and ironing board. And then here we have our luggage rack. Ours is a little sad, a little broken. I'm definitely looking forward to how these rooms turn out after they get a little refresh. And then on the wall, you'll have your wall safe in the closet. So it's a really functional closet. I hung up a lot of things since we were here for many days. It worked very well. And then on this side of the sink is your door into the bathroom. The fan is quite loud, so I apologize in advance. There's no way to turn the light on without also turning the fan on. Pretty standard setup. You have your toilet, some nice tile floor, and then a combo sink shower. There's that one shelf in the corner, and there is a clothesline for hanging stuff if you want. It did come with the individual H2O products, so shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and there also was a bar soap in here too. So no wall-mounted H2O products in here. And then we did get 5 towels. This room does officially sleep 5 people. Even though there were only 2 of us on the reservation, we did get all 5 towels. Another nice thing I wanted to note was that on our day 2 and day 3, they actually came and emptied our trash and recycling, which they absolutely don't have to do and is not standard for DVC. So thank you so much to the wonderful people at the Boardwalk. That was so nice. So yeah, that's your entry area with the door, and then your kitchenette, sink space, closet space, and then separate from the bathroom. Moving into the main living space, you walk in and there's the proper bed here, along with a very large mirror. Again, this is opposite of your window or door out to your balcony or patio, so it lets in a lot of light. This side of the bed doesn't have any outlets, so whoever's sleeping over here gets a little bit shortchanged potentially. And there's no bedside table, so I just put my water on the ground, for example. This side of the bed does have your bedside table, and then 2 outlets with proper plugs, as well as 2 USB outlets. And I mean, the side table's functional for sure, but it's definitely small. If you're gonna store anything in here, it would have to be little stuff. You're not gonna be able to stash a backpack down there, I don't think. The bed was very comfortable. We both got plenty of good sleep. There's this light over the bed with just the one switch, so either it's on or it's off. It's not like one per side. And then the pillows were comfy. They are pretty thick though. And even when you're laying on them, they don't become very thin. So if you sleep on a thinner pillow, these might not be the most comfortable for you. Across from the bed, there is this cabinet. And if you open it up, it actually has 4 drawers for storage. So this is a really nice functional touch. Pull the drawers out. They're decently big. You could fit a lot in here if you really wanted to fully unpack and act like you live here, act like you're home. And then on top, I've just stored some of my things. So this is what the temperature control looks like. It's not a digital unit where you can pick like 72 degrees or 65 degrees. You're going from cool to warm, and then how high the fan is on, and if the system's on heat, off, or cool. So that's a little bit of an interesting quirk here, but that worked out well for us. There's also no motion sensor in it, which means it stays on what you want the whole time, which is great. Here's your one overhead light in the main space. It's very beautiful, but it is tucked away in this corner. But you do have a ceiling fan, so that's a nice touch. And then you've got this good sitting area, desk, and some cute chairs. They have this fun red and white pattern with the accents. It does kind of feel like the Boardwalk to me. This is also where your single pull-down bed is. Oh, it's Dumbo. What's happening?
Stuck.
So the pull down single bed backdrop is Dumbo. That's so cute. He's sleepy. Wow, I love that. And then of course you've got your TV. And on both sides you have that same outlet setup where you have 2 proper plugs and then 2 USB plugs. Of course they're letting you know about enhanced cleaning. We also got this note when we arrived that they had recently cleaned the carpet. So it may be damp. I didn't notice that it was damp, but just so you know that may happen to you. You do have carpet in the bedroom and living area as opposed to this wood. I don't know if it's wood, actual wood, probably not, wood laminate perhaps. It feels nice. It's not like a cheap laminate. And then tile in the bathroom, of course. Then you have your coffee table. It's pretty large actually. I was impressed with how much stuff we could fit on it and under it. So there's not a drawer or anything, but quite a lot of space. You could fit a suitcase down there. And then your couch that Adam's hanging out on. This becomes a pull-out bed. Got a little bit of artwork over the couch to give you some of those boardwalk feels. So I thought this was a nice touch. And then a lamp in the corner, painted this really pretty blue color. And then here will be your door to either your patio or your balcony. We are on the first floor, so we have a patio. The curtains are really cute. There's some not so hidden Mickeys, but they're fun. And I think this might be a chrysanthemum. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely ornate and pretty. And you do just get the one curtain instead of having, oh, just kidding. The thick curtain is on the outside. So this is your light blocking curtain. And then there's a really thin curtain on the inside. I suppose if you want the light to come through, but to have a little bit of privacy. But in other rooms we've stayed in recently, it's opposite, where the thick light blocking curtain is in the back, and then there's like a pretty decorative curtain in front. So this is our patio. Let's take a step out. So here's the pool. Like I said, we're right at the pool complex. You can see, if I zoom in a little bit, you can make out the Keister coaster over there that replaced the Scary Clown pool. Pool opens at 10 a.m. I believe, so it's a little early for it to be crowded. But this is our patio space. You've got the red walls, chair, table, and another chair. Weirdly, there's no divider. There's another patio right next to us. That's not ours. That's for somebody else's room. But I suppose if they're not out here and they don't mind, you do technically have a kind of a large patio in 1044. Since there's no official divider or anything, you might be able to sneak and use their chairs if they're not looking. I guess it's possible that is our patio. I just know that those aren't our doors. Our doors are here. That's somebody else's room. Yeah, so you've got this nice patio space. It is covered fully, and then there's this cute awning as well. So no worries if it's raining, unless it's really raining sideways. So coming back inside from the patio, over here by the TV, this is the door to make it an adjoining room. We obviously didn't use that. That's where it's located. And you have quite a lot of floor space here if you do need to move the chairs or this table to pull out a bed or to store your luggage in, which is what we did. All right, that was the tour of our standard view studio at the BoardWalk Villas. We had a really lovely 3 nights here. It's a great location. The room is perfectly serviceable. I think sort of like Beach Club, the room's a little bit bland, but to each their own. There definitely are a few Disney touches, but not a ton. If you compare the theming in the rooms to like the theming in the lobby, do you really know you're at the boardwalk? I don't know. But it was a very nice room. And I mean, other than the fact that you're at a Disney hotel, so there's gonna be noise, there's gonna be suitcases down the hallways at pretty much all hours of the day. We're outside the pool, so of course there's pool noise. You'll probably have neighbors, who knows how loud they're gonna be. Like, you know, once it's 7 a.m., you might be woken up by some noise. But that's true everywhere, I think, on Disney. So, you know, the boardwalk was really good to us, and we really love the location. And I hope that this room tour has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get you a useful answer. Also, if you want to talk outside of YouTube, we can chat over on Twitter or Instagram. You'll find me at PixieDustPhD. If you did find this helpful, please be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You can ring that bell icon to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. I hope the rest of your day is super magical, and we'll see you real soon at PixieDustPhD.